Hey everyone, welcome back to another Network Field Day. This is Network Field Day 29. Super excited to be back. So, today, this is day zero. The event actually starts tomorrow. I'm going to run down who's going to be here, just a little bit of what I'm looking to hear, just things that I already know about some of these vendors and where I think they're going to go. And there's a few sleepers in here that I'm really excited to hear from. So on Wednesday, it's going to be Broadcom, OpenGear, and Cisco. So Broadcom, I don't know exactly what Broadcom's bringing. If it's going to be part of the VMware acquisition. I mean, obviously there was the NX as NXO. I think it's NXO, NSX, their sort of ACI-ish data center overlay. So that could be something that they're bringing out. They could also just be talking about generally. I know Broadcom has a data center platform and some switching platforms in there. So I don't know exactly what we'll be hearing from Broadcom, but I'm definitely excited to hear from them. Next on Wednesday is going to be OpenGear. Now, OpenGear, I've used Open Gear equipment for a long time. For my money, I've said this before, I'll continue to say this. When it comes to out of band networking solutions, they're the company that I think of first. So I was able to attend the Tech Field Day Extra that was at Cisco Live, and I was only able to attend one session, and that session was with Open Gear. So this may be a bit of a repeat for me, and you can find my other video from that session and get a sense of where I was standing in my feedback for them and just general comments. So I'm guessing I'm going to hear a little bit of the same. I know at that point in time they were talking about building out their app store more or less for their new programmatic developer based type things, hardware that let you run Docker containers inside there. So that'll be nice to see what has changed. Even if it's not a lot, I'm always happy to talk to OpenGear. And then the last on Wednesday is Cisco, and it's really impossible to say what Cisco is going to be bringing to an event like this. Let's see here. Cisco Live was mid June. So it's been a few months. I doubt they're announcing anything new. However, I'm hoping that it actually ends up being a bit of a repeat from Tech Field Day Extra at Cisco Live because I wasn't able to attend those actual sessions. So there was one thing that I do distinctly recall, though, the Meraki platform being able to manage Catalyst switches. They announced that at Cisco Live. I know they talked about that at Tech Field Day as well. So I'm hoping there's more of that. Like I said, I do hope it's a bit of a repeat. That's mostly for me, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with Cisco. And then on Thursday, we've got Juniper, CatchPoint, and Kentic. Now, Juniper, they play in a lot of spaces as well, just like Cisco. I am assuming there's going to be multiple updates in there. I'm assuming they're going to be bringing out or talking about Apstra again, which I'm excited to hear more about. If you're not familiar with Apstra, I'm not going to try and describe the entire platform here, but the takeaway that I really liked from Apstra was that it's a multi-vendor approach to doing basically the data center underlay networking technologies. So they help build that fabric and can do so across multiple vendors. So if you use Cisco ACI, obviously you end up in a little bit of a vendor locked situation there. But Apstra gave away, at least for the underlay, to build things out in a more vendor centric way, vendor neutral way. So I'm guessing we're going to hear some more about Apstra. Don't know for certain, but I'll be happy to hear about it regardless. And then I don't want to say wrapping up, but then the next two are CatchPoint and Kentic, which I'm not totally familiar with them. Outside, I know that they're both observability companies. And I'm not fully steeped in what observability means and how it differentiates from monitoring. Because I have an idea, what does it mean to observe your network and the statistics and the route paths and all of that. So, okay, we can observe all of that. That also feels like monitoring as well. So I don't know how they differentiate, if observability is more of just a kind of a new phrase or a new way of bundling other types of monitoring all in one. Again, not 100% certain. Regardless, I'm looking forward to see how they define it and how they differentiate from each other. So it's really cool to see those two companies at the same event. Then on Friday, there's Graphient and Nokia. Now, Graphient is interesting because they really haven't announced much of anything yet. So I know that on the 8th, which I believe is Thursday, they're actually doing the launch of their new product, or I believe it's their only product actually at this point. And the thing that I find the most interesting about them just today, as it stands today, is if you go to their website, you scroll down and you see their founders, and they've got two founders listed there. Khalid Raza, I'm not sure if that's totally correct there, and then Stefan Olofsson. That's another name that I struggle with a bit there. But what really caught my attention, and I think this is what's catching everyone's attention, is that Khalid and Stefan both came from Viptela, and Khalid actually I believe was the I think he was the founder at Viptela, and this is pre-Cisco takeover. And I know Stefan was an early employee there, so to see what they're doing next after Viptela became so popular and so successful that Cisco acquired them, that's enough to get, I would say, a lot of people's attention, mine included. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they announce on the 8th, and then what they actually bring out and show us on the 9th. It's actually really cool. I don't know if we're the first technical audience to actually sit in front of it, but if we are, even if we're not, and we're just kind of super early, that's amazing. I cannot wait for it. And then wrapping up the day is going to be Nokia. And I've known Nokia forever. I assume most people have, at least if you're in tech. I doubt they're announcing the next iteration of the 3310 phone, at least with this audience. So I know Nokia has been a big player more in the service provider side, but this is not a service provider type field day. It's network field day, which, I guess there is some overlap in there. So I don't know what Nokia is bringing, but it will be my first exposure to Nokia regardless within any of their networking platforms. So that's going to be fun just to be a part of and just start learning more about Nokia in that arena. And just kind of broadly speaking across the entire networking field discipline, is there has been a very big drive to get to places of vendor neutrality, or picking the right tool for the right job. It's not very common that you find networking shops that are where a pure Cisco shop or a pure Arista shop, just top to bottom. There's a lot more diversity out there. So if Nokia is stepping in and starting to try and drive themselves more into the enterprise space, because that's my background, has traditionally been enterprise networking, that's going to be exciting, because if they've got a niche or a bit in there that they can do better, and it's starting to be more enterprise friendly, then I'm all here for it. So that's my day zero sort of wrap up there. I'll be doing a video each day. My goal is to have that video out within the same day, recapping my thoughts on each presentation throughout the day. Typically, I do a single video. I may try and break that up into individual videos this year, or at this event. We'll see how feasible that is, because my goal is still to have the video out within that same day. So until tomorrow, thank you for watching. Super excited again to be here, and I can't wait for more. See you then.